And now it's Too Late with Alan Mosley.
Guys, welcome back for another episode of It's Too Late. I am your host, Alan Mosley. And Blake, we didn't do a show last week.
Yeah, we didn't. Why was that? That's kind of odd.
Why was that?
Yeah, why was that?
I guess because we were quarantined. I don't know. We have some fun stuff prepared for tonight, and we're going to get to that shortly. But I wanted to take this week's monologue to just kind of vamp a little bit about just everything going on. First thing I want to say is that this week is the last week we're going to mention anything related to coronavirus.
Okay.
This is the last week I'm going to mention anything related to the pandemic and the response and all that crap.
Okay.
But I wanted to vamp on this a little bit because I wanted to share my thoughts about how things have been going and how I feel about everything, and maybe some people will share some of the sentiments that I have about it, or maybe people have had totally different experiences. I don't know. Okay. I've been really angry.
Really?
I've been really angry and bitter and depressed. I don't mind talking about myself. People that know me know I'm a pretty open book. I've dealt with depression over the years, and the whole quarantine and social distancing and all that stuff it's sucked. It's been terrible.
Oh yeah.
And I don't want to make, like, this week's episode is not going to be a big long thing about all the data that's out there and whether or not COVID-19 was overestimated or underestimated and all that. I definitely have my opinions about that stuff, but I'm a lot more concerned with related ancillary issues around it. Yeah. The first one being that this is probably the first time in my life that, because we talk about government and politics on this show a lot. And I've certainly made it no secret that I'm not exactly a fan of the powers that be. But government has done lots of terrible things. But a lot of times those terrible things they're terrible in the abstract, right? Like, that thing you're doing is unconstitutional. Well, if you are supposed to be upholding the Constitution, then that's wrong. But if it doesn't affect you at home, then it's so easy to overlook. Yeah. And in some ways, that's bad too, because if all the snakes are in Washington, D.C. up to no good, and it doesn't trickle down to you when they do it, then you might not be mad at the right people for the right reasons. Right. And that's a whole thing in of itself, but it's important. But by and large, they're helping Saudi Arabia destroy Yemen. Look at the famine. And those all things are terrible too. And I'm not trying to say that that's not important or sad or frustrating. But at the end of the day, if it doesn't affect your gas price or your grocery bill or your late night TV schedule, then you don't really feel it. And it's so easy for people to overlook those types of things. But all of the response to the whole pandemic crisis, the mandated closures of businesses, which has affected us, certainly, definitely. This is probably the first time in my life that I have been negatively affected by the state in very palpable, direct ways,
personal ways.
Yeah.
Ways
that you feel and see when you wake up in the morning, when you go to bed at night, and not just ideological ways, not just political ways, but in real life ways. Yeah. And it makes me angry, and it makes me bitter, and it makes me think about, we were having a record year. Yeah. We were blown away. 2019 was a great year, and we were blowing 2019 away.
Oh yeah.
We had clients who wanted to do business with us, and we had to turn them away because we told them we were afraid of getting a misdemeanor. Right. Because there are cops parked outside looking for people trying to do business.
Yeah, and that's not okay.
It's so weird to even say those words out loud. Like was that you're actually in a weird sort of way, you're literally in hiding. Like, and I don't begrudge people out there who might be doing a little, whatever with their devil's lettuce. But most people have never had to go to a black market.
Yeah.
Most people have never had to do things that in their own mind and routine were just regular parts of their daily life,
Uh-huh.
but be concerned that, well, if I go do my daily regular life today, I might get in trouble.
Yeah.
I might be sideways with the law. That is a novel concept, I think, for most people.
And scary.
It is scary.
Yeah.
It's like I said, I have anger issues. I tend to be more angry than sad. And in a lot of ways it's more sad because I hope that this has been an eye-opening experience for people. The people who always say that could never happen here. The people who, and I'd said this before, the people who always consider themselves to be the hero in their own life story, the people who think, I'd never rat someone out. If Anne Frank was hiding in my roof, I wouldn't tell the Gestapo where she was. That lots of people feel that way.
Uh-huh.
Lots of people think that to themselves because it makes them feel good. It makes them feel like that they're heroic somehow, even though they're not actually. By the way, they're not actually doing anything. It's all in their head. But it makes them feel like they're a hero, or that they would like to think that they would do the right thing if push came to shove.
Right.
But then you see all the hotlines that are literally just jam-packed full of people ratting out their neighbors, ratting out local. Oh, that guy's walked his dog too many times today. Oh, these kids are out here playing and they're too close together and not wearing masks. All the videos that you see of them dragging people off of trains and buses because they're not wearing their masks, and it just goes to show a couple of things. First, that I've said this before too, and people get mad when I say it, but stay mad, I guess, because I'm right. The state will never have to really lay the hammer down on you because your neighbors will do it for them.
Unfortunately.
And that's so sad.
Yeah.
I hope that my listeners would never do such a thing. I hope my listeners, instead of if you see something, say something. I hope instead of if you see something, you keep it to yourself.
Right.
Because it's not worth the trouble. Like you should ask yourself the serious question, like, is it worth killing somebody over this thing I don't like? Like, let's just say hypothetically the virus is terrible and you don't want it to spread. Is it worth killing this guy because he's out there he's running his lemonade stand? If the answer is of course not, which it is, by the way, if you're a human being and you have any empathy at all, the answer is never to hurt someone. If the answer is not to call the cops and watch them shoot the guy's dog and whatever, then just keep your mouth shut. Just live your life. Yeah. And I know that hopefully by May 1st, I know for the state of Tennessee, we're one of the states that hopefully by May 1st, everything is going to start to reopen and get back to normal.
Whatever that is.
If you don't think that's right, you can still stay home.
Yeah.
Like you can stay home.
Yeah.
You don't, just because we reopen on May 1st doesn't mean you have to be here.
That's true.
And we'll plug along. But the point being is that, like, this is genuinely the first time in my life that I actually thought, man, I was doing well and now things are crap and it's because of the government and there's nothing I can do.
Right.
And by and large, people are cheering it on. They're happy.
It's crazy.
Tread harder, daddy, was what they're saying.
Wow.
And I don't know. I know that I'm not the only one. I know there's lots, and I know that there's other people out there that have been even more adversely affected than me. And I just want to tell everybody, I hope you're doing well. I hope you continue to do well. I hope, even though I'm afraid that there might be more rough times ahead, I hope you're figuring out more and more useful ways to take care of yourself, take care of your loved ones, and keep your focus at home and in your community and finding positive ways that you can make that little microcosm of the world a better place. I'm afraid the world is not a great place for a lot of reasons, but if you could just make your little corner of it a better place, then that's winning. That's hashtag winning right there. That is. And that doesn't require any votes. Nope. That doesn't require any politicians or any donations to any campaigns. That just requires hard work and dedication and spreading the message amongst you and yours.
Right. Very positive message.
I hope so, because I don't feel positive at all. I think this is what I think is going to happen. I'm going to end up being one of those artists or personalities that people. I hope that people like. So I'm going to kill myself. That's no. I'm going to blow my brains out.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
But everyone will look back. It's like the guy that did like the little the Hawaiian ukulele version of Over the Rainbow. Like that guy killed himself, I think.
Israeli Kamikaze Ol is that his name?
So like everybody thinks of that song being very lighthearted and positive and spiritual, but the guy killed himself. So that's going to be me. I'll kill myself because I'm hunkering under the weight of the world. But maybe people will look back and think, well, that was a positive message that guy gave before he jumped off a bridge.
Oh, come on, man.
What?
It's better than that. Come on, you make your own happiness, right?
No, that's what, and again, do as I say, not as I do.
True.
I'm giving that message, like I've given that to you. So that's yours now, and I hope you take that message and run with it. I'm just going to wallow in misery, but I hope you guys do the best. The rest of the show is going to be awesome. We'll be right back after this. If you're enjoying tonight's show, consider supporting the program by becoming a member of our Patreon. That's over at patreon.com/Alan Mosley. Blake.
Yes.
What time is it?
It's time for Meme of the Week. Ooh.
Which sold out faster this month? You know, this was going to be our stuff for last week, but we ended up canceling. We took a week off.
Yeah.
So this is actually a week old, but I think it's still good.
It's still great. It's so great.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going by from the time he ended his campaign, then he totally sold out faster than the toilet paper.
Full on, man. Full on.
I said it. I said this was gonna did I not say this is what was gonna happen?
Dude, you totally called it, dude.
Did I not spend like 2 or 3 weeks talking about how as much as I disagree with that commie POS, I would respect him more if he gave a big F you to the DNC. Right. I'm gonna stay in this thing to the end because you guys are freaking rats and you're rigging the whole election. And then when it's over and it's not me, I'm gonna freaking run as an independent to siphon off all your votes. I'm gonna totally trash your chances because it's not about party. Like if you had a single principle in your body at all, if you believed in anything, it wouldn't be about the party. It wouldn't be about the other guy, by the way. No. It wouldn't be about who you're running against. It would be about, I think that this is the best way to move forward, and I'm going to share my message and see who's with me. But that's not what that man is about. That man is about this.
That's right.
And he's going to fall in line. So screw that guy.
He fell in line, didn't he? Wow.
Did I not say that? I said this back
you nailed that on the head, man. You nailed it.
I don't know why anyone thought anything different. Like all the Bernie bros, man. Like I said before, I feel no sympathy for the commie. I feel some sympathy for the kids who they've never been politically active before, and this is their first brouhaha, you know? And they think that they've found their guy. Yeah. First of all, if it's a politician and they work in Washington, it's not your guy.
Yeah, not your guy.
1000%, it's not your guy. There's no such thing as you. None of those guys are your guy. None of them. None of them. No. Or gals, excuse me.
Yeah, right. That is funny, man. That's just so. I just can't get over that. Bernie Sanders versus toilet paper.
Like we were going to do an episode last week that was going to be called No Refunds, and I was going to do most of the episode about that.
Yeah.
But it's done though.
Yeah,
now.
it's done.
He's exactly where we all knew he would be, which is licking the boots of whoever the Democratic establishment. I love, by the way, it wasn't our meme of the week, but I love the meme of it's like it's a crappy cartoon caricature of Bernie.
Yeah.
And it's something and the text is something like resist the establishment. Oops, I lost. I'm giving your money to the establishment. Vote for the establishment, please. It's true. If you're endorsing Joe Biden, you're like, that's establishment 101.
That's right.
So anybody who thought that he was some type of people's champion, you're just an idiot. You're an idiot, and we all are sometimes.
Yep. Okay.
We've all been there.
We're all responsible.
So you look stupid. So now you get to wipe that egg off your face.
That's right.
And hopefully in the future you realize you can't find your salvation in Washington.
Think he'll ever run again?
He's old.
Yeah,
I don't think he'll
old.
run again. But if he were 4 years younger, he'd run in 2024. But he's
That's
not.
Right. He's never gonna quit.
I mean, like him and Biden both. I
Yeah.
mean, they're both I think they're 79 and 78.
Jeez.
So they'll be 83 and 82.
Oh,
nah, they won't.
Old white guys.
They won't then. Well, you even look at we love Ron Paul, but Ron Paul, I don't think he should have even run in 2012, but he definitely wasn't going to run in 2016 because, I mean, at some point it's like, just enjoy the rest of your life.
Yeah, exactly.
Biden doesn't have much longer left to live. He may not even survive. Why are we talking about this?
I don't know.
I said we weren't going to.
No, I don't know.
This is your fault.
It's not my fault.
You're not keeping me on track. Jesus. Let's do the viewer mail.
Here you go. Never gets old, man.
I spent like half an hour putting that sound effect in there. This is why we're broke. It has nothing to do with the pandemic. It has everything to do with me dicking around with the graphics all day.
All day.
Anyway, Jeff Johnson from Gillette, Pennsylvania writes, "Dear Alan and Blake, who spends more time doing their hair for the show, you or Blake?" I'm actually willing to bet that it's you, Blake, because I literally do nothing but get out of the shower.
Yeah, I mean, these golden locks require a little bit of effort, but yeah.
All right.
But dude, those curls you're rocking though.
But I don't do
anything. Don't you
though.
make those, or is that
No,
natural?
This is all natural.
That's insane.
I'm just that awesome.
That's awesome.
Look, I was Jon Snow before there was a Jon Snow. I'm older. I'm older than Kit Harington. So he's me. I'm not doing the Jon Snow. He's doing the Alan Mosley.
That's awesome.
All right, Amanda Bowers from Nashville, Tennessee. From Nashville, right up the road here. Amanda Bowers writes, "Dear Alan and Blake, is now a bad time to reread Atlas Shrugged? I'm thinking yes, but fortunately I'm not prone to nightmares. Do you think I should stick to fiction?" It's always a bad time to read Atlas Shrugged because it's a crappy book. Like,
I don't know anything about
it.
There's
It's such a cult of personality thing too. Like so many people want to like Ayn Rand because of some of the things that she stands for, but that doesn't mean that any one particular thing she produced is good.
Right.
It might have meaning for you. There might be symbolism in there that you enjoy. The book is garbo.
She asked the question. You had the answer. There you go. There's nothing more to it.
Eric Perry, Eli from Gainesville, Florida writes, "Boo Gators." Writes, "Dear Alan and Blake, Star Wars or Star Trek?" Blake, do you like Star Wars or Star Trek more?
I'm gonna have to say I beg to differ. I refuse to answer that question.
Okay, so because
they're both awesome.
So I'm going to show you how to do this. What you do is you deflect. So I like Star Wars and Star Trek both, but there's So first of all, Star Wars is dead because the new trilogy ruined it. So it's ruined it. So I'm back on a tangent.
Here we go.
This is totally the producer's fault.
But they asked.
So I will never the first 4 seasons of Game of Thrones are amazing, and I don't think I'll ever watch them again. And that's weird to say. Didn't you just say they were amazing? Why won't you ever rewatch them? The end of the show soured me. It was so bad. The way they ended the series was so bad. I'm so soured on it. I don't think I can go back and enjoy it.
I get that sentiment.
And in Star Wars, it's the same way. They made Star Wars so bad over the last 4 or 6 years that I just can't even go back and watch any Star Wars. That's how it is.
Okay.
I would have in the past said Star Wars over Star Trek. With that said, I liked them. I liked in the past tense them both. As far as Star Trek goes, though, don't care for the original series. I'm not a boomer. Sorry. Next Generation was great. Next Generation was great.
Yes,
most people say that that's the best, and I'm saying that it's very good.
Yes, it's okay.
But I actually, believe it or not, my favorite Star Trek series is Deep Space Nine. And I know that is controversial. Like that, we'll have to do a whole segment someday.
I
right now, hold on. I know. Hold on.
It was good, man.
Right now, there's people in the chat going. They're doing this number on their keyboard saying, "Deep Space Nine is the black sheep. Next Generation is the best." What's wrong with you?
Come on.
It just is. I'll explain that sometime.
That is a very contentious question. How dare you ask that?
Okay, there you go. You know what? You apologize to our fan, Blake.
Sorry.
That's no way to talk to Eric. Celeste Annis from Niagara Falls, New York writes, Dear Alan and Blake, what is your favorite kind of cheese? What's your favorite cheese, Blake?
I grew up eating good old-fashioned Kraft American cheese slices. If they're even really cheese, but hey, America, man.
No one asked you what you grew up eating. Is that your favorite?
I have to say that is my favorite cheese. Although a nice slice of fresh Munster does not too bad with me.
Okay, so Kraft American cheese is god awful.
Yeah, it's garbage, but dude.
But you just why is it your favorite if you admit that it's garbage?
Because I grew up eating it. There's something nostalgic about that. Like even today, I will still go in the refrigerator and I will grab a slice of Kraft American cheese and I will nosh on that bad boy. I don't know why. It's salty and oily, but I love it. It's just, it's good. But yes, that's my favorite cheese, and I stand by that, and I'm not ashamed.
I'm sorry, the correct answer was pepper jack. Moving on, Jonathan Carranza from Colville, Washington writes, Dear Alan and Blake, so we're going boar skulls or bear skulls for decoration. So this is the guy who's decorating his house with skulls. So he wrote in asking if human skulls were appropriate. And then it translated into it was going to be in the den instead of the bathroom. Okay. And now he's asking boar skulls or bear skulls. So first of all, Jonathan, get help. And second of all, if you can get a boar skull like with the tusks, that'd be kind of gnarly.
Pretty epic.
So now I need help.
Well, I don't know.
Jonathan's written in so many times.
I know.
For home decor advice.
I don't know.
But now that's what we're doing. It's a whole thing.
So is it bear skull versus boar skull? Okay, it's a lot easier to get a boar skull than a bear skull. So I would think a bear skull would have a little bit more, chatability about it. It's like, that's a bear skull. That's a boar skull. It's bear skull for me.
I mean, you shouldn't be making the decision based on what's easier, though. I mean, they're both easy if you're a man.
Well, no. It depends on if you're the one that got the skull, How'd you get that bear skull, man? With your pocket knife? You take him on? Is he grizzly? That'd be a bragging trophy right there.
You ever seen the movie The Revenant?
No.
The Leonardo DiCaprio movie where he gets mauled by a bear?
I need to watch that.
Okay, all right, I'm going to tell you.
By a bear.
I literally looked at the timer and saw that we're way over time. And so since we're way over time, I'm going to tell a quick story.
Okay, tell.
Okay, so anyway... I was out visiting in East Tennessee, and I had taken the then girlfriend, now fiance, Annika, with me, and we were needing to kill time one day because we had some stuff going on that evening, and we were like, "Hey, we'll go see a movie. We never go to the movie. We'll go see a movie." And there was only 2 movies on at the theater that gauged any interest at all. The first one was The Revenant with Leonardo DiCaprio, which is a very serious movie, very gory and bloody. He gets mauled by a bear. It's crazy.
It sounds awesome.
And the second one was Deadpool, the first Deadpool. And me being the good guy that I am, I said, Annika, honey, why don't you pick which one that you would like to see? And she said, she figured, Deadpool, it's about Deadpool comic book. Oh, it'll be stupid, crude humor. I won't like that. Let's go see the other one. She didn't even know what the other movie was. I will go see the other one that's not Deadpool. And I said, now hold on a minute. Deadpool, yeah, it'll be a comic book movie and it'll be crude humor and all that, but it'll be fun and there'll be some action. There'll be some funny one-liners and jokes. But I gotta warn you now, The Revenant is a pretty dramatic movie. Annika doesn't typically like really dramatic movies, and she definitely doesn't like movies that are very heavy, very serious or gory or anything like that. I'd said, I don't think you want to see that movie. I think you would rather see Deadpool of these two. And she said, no, I don't want to see Deadpool. It sounds stupid. Let's go see the Leonardo DiCaprio movie. And I said, okay. So we go to the movie theater, right? Yeah. We go to the movie theater. She's just horrified into silence.
Oh, wow.
I'm sitting here watching the movie. I'm like, hey, I got mauled by a bear. I look over, Annika's sitting here. She's just
Oh dear.
She's just rocking back and forth. I'm like, oh my God. So, and to this day, I share the story that I just want it to be remembered that I gave you the choice. And then when you picked The Revenant, I then came back and said, are you sure that you want to go see The Revenant? It's a pretty serious movie. And she's like, no, I don't want it. Let's go see the other one. I don't want to see Deadpool. So we went to go see The Revenant. And now she's scarred for life. And now I'm the bad guy. Commercial break?
Sure, brother.
Your ad could be playing right now, reaching thousands of potential customers. Sadly, it's not, but it could be. Find out how to be an advertised sponsor for It's Too Late with Alan Mosley. Email us at alan@funnybroke.com.
So I wanted to talk. I had a whole bunch of stuff in the stack, and literally right before we went on, I decided I'm going to make this whole segment about this one thing and deleted everything else.
Okay.
There was an article that was in Harvard Magazine that's, I mean, like this is so first of all, if you can't stand BS from the ivory tower, now's a good time to mute the audio. We'll be back in like 10 minutes. But I actually wanted to read a little bit of this article.
Okay,
so go ahead. This was The Risks of Homeschooling.
Oh boy.
By what's that? Aaron O'Donnell. Whoever Aaron O'Donnell is, she needs to kill herself. Hold on. I'm sorry. Go back. She needs to visit euthanasia.com. I was really bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I apologize for my coarse language. She needs to visit euthanasia.com and to get the information she needs to make the right choice.
Right.
I can't believe they're not sponsoring this show. That was good, right? I thought that was good. Anyway,
Good. Okay.
The risks of homeschooling. I want to read through this article because it's just rage-inducing. And why even bother tuning into the show if not to see me angry? If there's one thing that's like a side effect of a lot of the pandemic stuff is a lot more people are doing a lot more things from home. And while it sucks that people are feeling forced to stay at home or they're losing their income, we already talked about that.
Yeah.
A silver lining might be that more people are finding out how much more self-reliant they could be.
Yeah,
and how much better things could be if they did do them themselves and didn't rely so much on some of the systems that be out there. And homeschooling is what a lot of people are doing school work from home. And a lot of people are finding out, you know what, my kids are happier not having to go to that literal prison 5 days a week and be stuck in their little brick cubes. That's awesome. So, I mean, great. That's great for everyone who's having a positive experience. But the eggheads at Harvard think that homeschooling is dangerous and that shouldn't happen. So I want to read through this. A rapidly increasing number of American families are opting out of sending their children to school, choosing instead to educate them at home. That's great news, by the way. Yeah. Homeschooled kids now account for roughly 3% to 4% of school-age children in the United States. That's 3 to 4 out of 100 is nothing, but oh no. Yeah. A number equivalent to those attending charter schools and larger than the number currently in parochial schools. Yet Elizabeth Bartholet, Wasserstein Public Interest Professor of Law and Faculty Director of the Law School's Child Advocacy Program, that sounds like something that shouldn't exist, sees risks for children and society in homeschooling and recommends a presumptive ban on the practice.
Wow.
So we could just cut the segment right here and wrap up for the day. We're not going to because I'm going to run my mouth. But we could stop right there. If they're advocating banning the voluntary interactions of other people, they're wrong.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
So they want to ban homeschooling. Homeschooling, she says, not only violates children's right to a, quote, meaningful education and their right to be protected from potential child abuse, but may keep them from contributing positively to a democratic society. Lady, I can tell you, no one's getting a meaningful education in a government-run school. That's number one. And number two, we need a lot less people contributing to the democratic society. We need a lot more people staying at home, quite frankly. Yeah. She says, we have an essentially unregulated regime in the area of homeschooling. Noticing how she uses the word regime, she makes it sound like it's foreign and terrorist-y. Bartlett asserts, all 50 states have laws that make education compulsory. Yeah, because coercion is wrong. It's morally and ethically wrong. And state constitutions ensure a right to education. There's no such thing. But if you look at the legal regime governing homeschooling, there's that regime word again. So by the way, so government schools are not a regime. Only homeschoolers, that's a regime.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah.
There are very few requirements that parents do anything. Even apparent requirements such as submitting curricula or providing evidence that teaching and learning are taking place, she says, aren't necessarily enforced. Only about a dozen states have rules about the level of education needed by parents who homeschool, she adds. That means, effectively, that people can homeschool who've never gone to school themselves, who don't read or write themselves. Wait, I thought school was compulsory.
Yeah.
So how do these people not know how to read or write?
Right.
In other handful of states, parents are not required to register their children as homeschooled. They can simply keep their kids at home. So she takes exception with the fact that they're not being required to register their kids in a government database. Oh no.
Yeah.
This practice, Bartlett says, can isolate children. She argues, you're never more isolated than in a public school. She argues that one benefit of sending children to school at age 4 or 5 is that teachers are mandated reporters required to alert authorities to evidence of child abuse or neglect. A public school is child abuse. So I don't see them reporting that. They're just cogs in the wheel. So they're abusers, right?
Yeah. There you go.
Teachers and other school personnel constitute the largest percentage of people who report to Child Protective Services. I know they do. I was about to say DS. I can't say that word anymore, but our fans at home will know they're DSers. Ooh. Whereas not one of the 50 states requires that homeschooling parents be checked for prior reports of child abuse. Even those convicted of child abuse, she adds, could still just decide, I'm going to take my kids out of school and keep them at home. That makes them great parents. Get your kids the hell out of school. As an example, she points to the memoir Educated by Tara Westover, the daughter of Idaho survivalists who never sent their children to school. Although Westover learned to read, she writes that she received no other formal education at home, but instead spent her teenage years working in her father's scrap business, where severe injuries were common and endured abuse by an older brother. Bartlett doesn't see the book as an isolated case of a family that slipped through the cracks. That's what can happen under the system in effect in most of the nation. This is very important to point out. She claims that that's not an isolated case, but then she says that can happen under the system in effect. So because of the bad things that could happen if we allow people to make their own decisions and raise their own children, we must make them do what we want. So you can't make your kids do what you want, but we can make your kids do what we want. I was gonna save this zinger till the end, but I gotta share it right now.
Okay.
It's not bad enough that the socialists consider your property as their property.
Yeah.
They consider your children as their property. And if you don't understand right off the bat how evil that is, then you just don't get it. You're not understanding this whole segment, that you don't understand how evil these people are. Yeah, we're just going to skip that one. So anyway, she views the absence of regulations ensuring that homeschooled children receive a meaningful education equivalent to that required in public schools as a threat to U.S. democracy. That's all the more reason we need it. We should be threatening U.S. democracy.
Yeah.
U.S. democracy is a freaking sham. Oh my God. I'm going to skip to the end because my blood pressure's too high.
Yeah, you're turning flush, you know.
Bartlett maintains that parents should have, quote, very significant rights to raise their children with the beliefs and religious convictions that the parents hold. But requiring children to attend schools outside the home for 6 or 7 hours a day, she argues, does not unduly limit parents' influence on a child's views and ideas. Okay, so again, she's trying to play that political game, but she's full of crap. No one, she says, very significant rights to raise their children. No one has a right to raise your children over yours.
That's right.
No one has a right to your kids more than you.
That's right.
Period. Full stop. This is another thing too, and this is where we lose people, but people have got to get back on board. This is not a debate. This is not a discussion.
Right.
Your rights and your sovereignty are not up for debate.
That's right.
The government doesn't give you rights.
Right.
Your rights are inherent to you in nature as a living,
correct.
breathing human being.
Yes.
If government did not give you your rights, then they can't possibly take them away.
Right.
You can't take away something that you didn't give in the first place.
Exactly.
So since you are not imbued with your rights from government cannot possibly take them away. This is not a debate. I can't stress this enough. This is not a discussion. We're not having a debate. We're not going to come to a negotiating table and you propose your plan and me propose my rights and us meet somewhere in the middle. This is not a discussion. This is not a debate. We're not going to meet somewhere in the middle.
Right.
You maintain your rights.
That's right.
No one owns your children. There are your kids. You make those decisions. Period. Full stop.
Yeah.
So she says at the end, she concedes that in some situations, homeschooling may be justified and effective. No kidding. No doubt there are some parents who are motivated and capable of giving an education that's of a higher quality and as broad in scope as what's happening in the public school. So public school education is literally less than worthless, so if you do anything, it's better. But Bartlett believes that if parents want permission to opt out of schools, the burden of proving that their case is justified should fall on parents. I think an overwhelming majority of legislators and American people, if they looked at the situation, would conclude that something ought to be done. Let me read that last part again. Bartlett believes that if parents want permission to opt out of schools. So again, they live in a world where it is presumed that they own your kids.
That's right.
They believe that your children are their property and you have to beg their permission to have them back. These people are monsters. Just that one sentence should tell you everything about this person as a human being. The burden of proving that their case is justified should fall on parents. I don't have to prove a damn thing to the government.
That's right.
They are unfit to exist. Get this out of here, Blake. Hold on. Before we kill the segment, go ahead and pull up the other thing that we had in there.
There you go.
But yeah, so pull up the other thing we had in there.
The first thing?
The other thing. What is wrong with you, Blake?
What thing? This thing?
Harvard nets nearly $9 million in coronavirus aid from Federal CARES Act. So people are out there getting their $1,200 stimulus. So a lot of people are not going to get a dime more. A lot of people haven't gotten their stimulus yet. A lot of people aren't going to get a dime more in unemployment because either they don't qualify or their state can't process it. And they remember the PPP. The PPs are empty, Blake. The payment protection program that was supposed to be for small businesses.
No.
It's empty already, by the way.
So fast. I wonder where all that went.
Yeah, and we're never going to know. Most of it went to a bunch of cronies, and a chunk of it went to people like Harvard University. Harvard, which by the way, they have like a $40 billion endowment fund. They got $9 million in stimulus relief. Get these people out of here. We got to go to commercial break so that I can like take some Xanax or something. Oh yeah. Thank you. The made it. I was worried there for a second.
I got it right that time.
I was worried there for a second. So it's time for our throwaway segment. But before we get to that, I wanted to say, so somebody had a birthday since we were last on.
Oh, stop it.
Somebody had a birthday.
I'm old.
Somebody had a birthday.
I think there's actually white in there somewhere.
Somebody had a birthday. Don't even start, dude. Where is it? Where is it? No, it's on. You see all that,
wait,
dude?
Where?
Don't even start with me.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, you are old, but you don't look old.
No, I know.
So there you go.
I'm blessed.
I mean, if you had the choice between looking old and feeling old, which would you choose?
Oh, dude, I don't, man. I wouldn't want to feel old.
You wouldn't want to feel old, but let's face it, we got to look good.
Yeah, we do have to look good.
I mean, I feel old as something else.
Yeah, but you look good.
I definitely do. All right. So anyway, everybody wish Blake a happy birthday. He's years old, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations on still being alive.
Congratulations, you're a year closer to death.
I mean, that's true, but you're closer to death now than you even were in the last segment.
Thank you. Yeah, every second.
You know what? You're welcome.
How depressing.
So there was a thing going around on social media that I thought would be fun for us to do really quick before we go to the finale. People like, everyone has cabin fever from being stuck in the quarantines, and so they're like figuring out ways to waste time. So people were debating. This was on Twitter, I think. It was name your 5 perfect movies. And so different like classic movies and stuff would be trending at different times, and people saying, "Oh yeah, that's on my list."
What's the criteria for perfect?
It's a
Just
perfect
which
movie.
ones you like the most, or
No, it's a perfect movie.
Made movies.
What a perfect movie!
Oh, perfect movie.
A perfect movie. There are. I mean, that's a good question to ask. There are absolute like songs. There's songs that I like that I can objectively say, well, I like this song. It's not legendary.
Might not be a perfect song, but
as it pertains to cinema, there's movies that I can watch that I can say, oh, I'm glad I watched that movie, but it wasn't a perfect movie.
Right.
A perfect movie is a perfect movie. It's perfectly cast. It's perfectly acted. It's perfectly directed. Perfectly written. It's a perfect movie.
Yeah.
It's a high criteria.
I don't know. Go ahead. You first.
No.
Oh, okay.
I'll start with. So we'll go back and forth. I don't know if we'll. I don't know if we'll do 5. I think so. I'll start with the easy one. The Godfather. The Godfather is a perfect movie.
I've heard that.
What does that mean?
I've heard The Godfather's a perfect movie.
What do you mean you've heard it's a good movie?
I'm one of the few men on this planet that has not seen The Godfather in its
Why is your audio so low, by the way?
I don't know. Why is my audio so
low?
Turn
your audio. No one can even hear you.
Yeah, they can hear me. I'm trying to be loud.
My audio's a lot lower now, too. Turn that audio back to where it was when we started the show.
There we go.
Quit tweaking my show! All right, so anyway.
Okay.
What do you mean you haven't watched The Godfather?
I've never seen the freaking Godfather in its entirety. I never had a chance to in life. Every single time in my life I've ever tried to watch The Godfather, something would make it stop. Either I had to go somewhere or something would just distract me. And it's long and I don't know. I've just never seen the thing in its entirety. I feel like I've missed out on a major chunk of manhood because I've not seen that freaking movie.
I think we should do like an It's Too Late watches. Like we'll watch The Godfather.
Well, sure, great, but okay. What's your number 2?
No, it's time for you to pick a movie.
My number 1.
No, there's no list. There's no numbers.
There's no number 1. Perfect movie.
It's name 5 perfect movies.
Perfect movies.
Yeah,
you're gonna die when I tell you what I think of perfect
you've already not watched The Godfather, so I can't possibly have a lower opinion. So go ahead.
What I think is a perfect movie, and you're gonna kill me for this. I just know it, and so is everybody else. Spaceballs. Perfect.
That's fine.
Spaceballs is a perfect movie.
That's fair.
Mel Brooks is a genius.
That's a perfectly reasonable answer.
I love Spaceballs. It's one of my favorite movies.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. Now that doesn't excuse you from the fact that you haven't watched The Godfather, which is literally like the greatest movie of all time.
I know I'm guilty for that. Come on, I'm doing the best I can here.
Okay, so all right, that's fine. Well, okay, so that's good. So I'm not gonna pick 5 dramas. That's cheesy. No. I'm gonna pick different movies of different genres. So okay, so you listed a comedy. I'll name a comedy. I think that Dumb and Dumber is a perfect movie.
I agree.
Dumb and Dumber.
I agree 100%.
Dumb and Dumber is a great movie.
That movie was very well thought out. There was great comedic timing. Everything about that movie had you rolling on the floor the whole time.
It really, a lot of people looking back, they think, oh, that's just a silly movie. Ha ha, it's funny. It's actually genius. There's a lot of jokes in that movie.
Yes, it was.
It's a perfect. I genuinely think Dumb and Dumber is a perfect movie.
It's a perfect movie. It really is.
So Dumb and Dumber, The Godfather. You've never heard those two in the same sentence. Now you have.
Spaceballs.
You said Spaceballs. Yeah. Do you have another one?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to throw this one at you.
Okay.
The Color Purple. I think The Color Purple is as close to a perfect movie for me as you can get.
Didn't really
Of the
care
movies
for it.
I've ever seen in my life. You never saw The Color Purple?
I've seen it. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I didn't love it.
Well, I still think it was a great movie.
Okay, well, I mean, but you haven't seen The Godfather, so who cares?
No, I haven't seen The Godfather.
Okay. Shawshank Redemption.
Ooh, good movie. Yeah.
Shawshank Redemption is a perfect movie.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say that's pretty close to freaking perfect.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anything like that absolutely completes the story in such a satisfying way, and all the way through it, the story is told. Man, yeah, that's a good one.
Okay. Do you have another one?
Shoot. Oh man, it just came to my head a second ago. Oh, what was the one with? Oh man, The Fugitive. Did you see The Fugitive?
The Fugitive? Yeah.
The
Harrison
Fugitive
Ford,
was a
The
freaking
Fugitive?
perfect movie. I thought that was pretty freaking perfect. I didn't think there was anything
so
in
The
there
Fugitive.
that
So
left
I
me-
consider The Fugitive an example of a movie that I personally really like, but I don't think it's a perfect movie. Perfect movie. Perfect.
Like goes into it somewhat. Though.
I don't think
I
it's
don't know.
perfect. I
Okay.
do think it's good.
Okay.
Saving Private Ryan.
Yes.
I think Saving
Ooh.
Private Ryan is a perfect movie.
When that movie came out, I was sitting in the front row of the theater.
Mhm.
I lost it. I went freaking nanas when that first scene in that movie with the battle and all those dudes getting blown away. I almost had to leave. I was so mad. I was ready to punch a wall.
Yeah.
It pissed me off so bad. I could not stand that first 15 minutes.
This whole segment is supposed to be fun. Don't be pissed
no,
off.
hey,
No.
But yes,
Okay.
that's what a movie should do to you. And
Okay.
that's why that's a perfect movie. Because it should bring you there. Because that's what that was like.
All right. That's fine. Okay. Do you have any more?
Dang, I keep thinking of them and they keep coming out of my head when you bring up another one. The Princess Bride.
The Princess Bride?
To me, that's a
Okay.
perfect movie.
All right. It's story time again. This is the last story because we're way over time. And since we're way over time and we
Okay.
got to do the finale, it means
Okay.
I'm going to tell
There
another
you
story
go.
really quick.
All right.
Okay, so remember my story from before where I
Yes.
said Anna Kay
Yes.
decided to go see The Revenant and it was totally her choice and she's still
Horrible.
mad at me
Yes.
to this day about making her see The Revenant even though it was her choice. Okay,
Yes.
like you know Anna Kay, right?
Yeah, I do her. Yeah.
Like on
I
a
do know
scale
her.
of 1 to 10, how much do you think Anna Kay likes The Princess Bride? Knowing
Just from
Anna
the
Kay,
little bit that I've met her, I bet she loves it to death.
Anna Kay has never seen The Princess Bride.
No.
I know! And I told her this will instantly become one of your top 5 favorite movies if you'll just watch it.
My God.
And she hasn't seen The Princess Bride.
Dude, you have got to get her to watch that movie.
She went to go see The Revenant and then was
Ow.
scarred for life, but
needs to
she
see
won't
that
see The Princess Bride.
She needs to see that as bad as I need to see The Godfather.
I don't know. I don't
Man.
even understand.
That would
this
change her
world
life.
anymore. I don't know.
Yeah.
I-
All good.
I'd like for the shows to be around like 43 minutes.
We're at
And
48, man.
So when I look down there and I see that we're way over and we still have the whole finale to do, I get a little...
Hey, man, hopefully everybody stuck with us this long. I hope so. You got nothing else to do but sit home in
Nobody
quarantine.
watches the show. Nobody watches the show. You know, actually, a lot of people were mad last week. I had left a post saying that, maybe I could do a live stream at night from home, but we're not going to do an episode this week. And people were upset.
Well, that's a good thing. That means someone cares. About what? I have no idea.
Well, then they should come host the show. Guys, we will be right back right after this. We should. I'm serious. We should do that. We should totally do that. But first, you should like our page on Facebook at facebook.com/funnybroke. Also, you can follow me on Twitter. I wouldn't recommend it, but you can do so. At Twitter, it's at Alan M. Mosley. But you don't have to do any of that. You can subscribe to us on our webpage, which is funnybroke.com, but that's not even what that said. That said youtube.com/funnybroke. Okay, so I was telling Blake during the break, though that big, long party room commercial is playing, we should turn that into an escape room.
There you go.
I'm actually, like, this is, like, the light bulb just went off. I'm dead serious right now, Blake.
Doesn't that involve like a bunch of parlor tricks and hidden mirrors and like
you gotta
lasers
come up with
holograms?
puzzles and riddles and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to have a bunch of extra ones so you could be changing it out. But yeah, we should. I'm serious. We should turn that into an escape room.
Why don't we just put a Monopoly game on the table? You know. There you
I
go.
can't. Excuse me for ever sharing any ideas with you. It's my fault. It's not yours. It's my fault for thinking I should ever share anything with you.
I think it's genius.
I'm serious. We should
Come up with a special party that's an escape room party, and come up with all sorts of ideas for that. It's genius. Yeah. That coming to you straight from the most innovative minds in America, buddy. Right here.
If you're in chat, I want you to write at Blake Osborne and tell him whether or not you would like to see an escape room in the party.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm serious.
Why not?
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode, and we will see you